It's a development that has kept the advertising industry on its toes, with every move being scrutinized. Now, mergers are not new, but the Omnicom IPG merger is rather unique for its ability to change the media landscape in the country and also raise questions on the future of the advertising world. In its current form, Omnicom ranks second on the holding company chart in India, second only to WPP. Now, joining me is AdityaKanthy, President and MD of Omnicom Advertising India, who, along with Rasoon Joshi, who's the chairman, will be steering the network. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Neeta.
Now, tell me, in the case of holding companies, mostly the decisions are taken based on the performance and revenue of agencies on a global level. And India realities are usually very different. In this case in point being, TBWA and BBDO, of course, have a smaller footprint compared to TDB and FCB. What was the criteria for retaining some of the agencies and retiring some?
No, great question. And the answer is a little bit in your question as well. You're right. Omnicom went through a process of evaluating the best roster of agency brands for global clients. The decision was to build and invest in TBWA, BBDO, and McCann as those three global networks. And the criteria for that decision making, as it should be, is always based on the confidence of being able to win today and tomorrow, and the relevance of those agencies to a global client mix. So that part of it is quite clear. The same principles have been applied to India as well, Neeta. The acknowledgement of the fact that two of those networks you've mentioned have historically been smaller in India is the exact reason why, let's say, TBWA is being fortified with the great Lintas brand locally. And that principle is what is guiding our decision to retain and invest and build the Mudra and Ulka brands in India too, right? It's again evident in the way in which we've set up our digital spine as well, right? With 22 Feet and Connect and MRM powering these global networks in our market. So the thinking behind it, the principles behind it are very much the same. The outcomes are tailored and customized for every market. Even globally, Omnicom has made the decision to retain certain agencies under the advertising collective, and they've applied that spirit in helping us set up in India in a way that makes sense for our local market as well. So we have a really good, I think, combination of the global networks and strong local jewels, if you want to call them that, in Lintas, Mudra and Ulka, which are well respected, loved, and
but that's, I mean, it's very interesting that FCB's had a spectacular history with wins at Cannes, and Mudra, where you have your roots, has been a school of advertising by itself. Everybody's curious on why Lintas was specifically retained amongst the legacy agencies.
Well, it's not just Lintas, actually. We also have Mudra and Ulka. So
yeah, but their names are not on the door anymore.
They're very much on the door. They are. So while Lintas is attached in that sense to TBWA more directly, Mudra and Ulka, we haven't fully announced our BBDO group structure yet. You'll hear in the next 30 to 60 days. But they're very clearly a part of that portfolio. So the Ulka brand operating under that BBDO group is thriving and strong, and we will continue to build it. And it's the same with Mudra. Now, the form in which it goes into the global networks are different in the case of the three agency networks, but they're all very, in fact, I feel very excited about the fact that in India we are able to set the portfolio up like this for exactly that reason, because these are agencies who have, Ulka has got a incredible history with some amazing marketers, great clients, beautiful culture. Same with Mudra.
Right.
which is where I've come through in my journey and career. And I think it's a tribute to Omnicom's respect for the Indian market and for clients here that we are able to do that. So it's not. I don't think there is any ambiguity about why these agencies are here. They're here because they're relevant. They're here because they help us attract great talent, and because our clients want them.
So basically, TBW and BBDO are doing better in India for you over an FCB and a Mudra, is it?
In the new structure, actually, that it's hard to answer that question because TBW and Lintas are one, and BBDO is fortified now by Mudra and Ulka, right? So yes, TBW and BBDO were historically smaller agencies in India, but the excitement of this acquisition is that today we have strong, large and good agencies in the portfolio across the board. So today, for any marketer looking for, and listen, different clients have different, the need for different perspectives,
Right.
a different type of engagement, sometimes different skill sets. And the structure is designed to be able to respond to that, to ensure that across Omnicom's connected capabilities, which is Omnicom advertising, media, production, data, commerce, and within a particular practice group or connected capability, which in our case is between TBW, Lintas, Mudra, BBDO India, Ulka, McCann, and our digital first creative agencies, we've got a roster of good agencies that are meaningful options
Right.
for clients, right? It's a strength in the way in which Omnicom has gone about its business historically, as you know, over the last 30 years as well. There is a lightness of touch at a holding group level, which is there by design, because we really do believe in delivering what we have to clients through the agency brands. And that our belief is that talent wants to work for those agency brands, which is why they're so critical to our strategy to win.
Because you spoke about holding company level, agencies or companies which have kind of dropped those big legacy brands like a JWT or top performing ones like a Web Chutney have sort of suffered on a perception level. But more important is, are clients okay with moving to an agency that they did not choose? And what were your conversations like with the clients?
That's an interesting one. As you can imagine, in a context like this, that is a very real it's a very real thing. And what we found was that most clients, as long as they're taken into confidence early and they are spoken to by the people they trust and respect, and are given the assurance that they will have continuity with their teams, most of them understand it, because all business builders, marketers acknowledge the fact that in an acquisition or in a merger or cultures, these kind of things happen.
Right.
They also acknowledge that it is exciting for them to be a part of a holding group that is prepared for the future, or a company that is ready for the future. And as long as they have in the immediate term sense of confidence on continuity of their teams, which is the teams that are working with them today, most of them, if not all, are understanding of a rebadging if it's required of the agency. And they're quite pragmatic. Most of our clients are, and that's what we've experienced. I think the important thing is that again, you'll see that in the way in which the agency has been set up, is that many of our client-facing senior people continue to be a part of our future and our plans for the future, right?
Okay.
That's a big bet in the way we want to think about India, is that we are very much in an environment where growth should be our expectation, where we want clients to feel the quality of our talent, along with the scale of the investment and the technology and everything else that comes by virtue of being a large company of our kind. And they have seen that. We've walked the talk on that, and clients see the seriousness of that intent.
I remember last month we learned that you're creating a burn back,
Yes.
bringing burn back to India for Volkswagen.
Yes.
And this is kind of to avoid a client conflict with Tata Motors in a way. But what happens to the smaller clients which also have a conflict? Of course, individually they might not have a sizable business with you, but put together, definitely. So what is the plan for those clients where there is a client conflict in place?
Yeah. So I want to correct you on the thinking behind burn back, but this is not a decision taken for one market, for one client.
I mean, burn back has been there across.
Burn back's a global. Volkswagen is Omnicom.
Yeah.
One
but
of
you didn't
Omnicom's
have that
oldest.
in India before.
Yeah.
I mean, it
but
was
it's a global
decision made now.
I think that the point I'm making is that burn back is, there's a tradition. In fact, the world's most successful bespoke agency, if you'd like to call it that, or as we know it today, is in Omnicom with Media Arts Lab and Apple, right? Going back to Steve Jobs and Lee Clow from the 90s.
Right.
So this idea of a agency set up for a client is not about conflict at all. It is about being able to give those clients the attention globally and locally that they need, and the capabilities that they need in a certain specific environment, right? And it is not new for Omnicom. We've done this in the past, as I've just told you, for perhaps before any other holding group did, for one of the world's most successful companies in the form of Apple. So it is tried and tested and established way of designing our solution for a client should they want it. And Burnbach is exactly that. Volkswagen has been working with Omnicom for decades now, and they believe in working that way. The christening of that agency as Burnbach is new, in tribute also of his incredible impact to the business and the brand specifically on Volkswagen. But the spirit of it is very much to be able to put the best of Omnicom in front of that client in a context that they value specifically. Right. Now to your question on handling client conflict, which is obviously a very real question given the scale of what we're trying to do. And you're right, it is much easier to create bespoke structures for clients who have scale.
Right.
But in a market like ours, there are also in every category emerging players who don't necessarily have that scale.
Right. And
Neeta, you'd know that over the last many years, as we've seen holding group consolidations, and you're going to see more and more of it, I think in the medium term, you'll see that consolidation becoming even more real at a holding group level. I think many clients also acknowledge the fact that they are working with holding groups that might be working with other players in their category. Okay. Now, our answer to that has always been that we work through the agency brands too, right? And we've got a wonderful lineup of really high quality agencies with really high quality leadership that is dedicated to those brands in those categories. And there is a set of systems and protocols well established, I would say, across most holding groups to protect the integrity of a client relationship, whether they're on the technology side, whether it's in terms of the way in which physically those teams are housed, or in terms of the way in which contracts are structured and run, both globally and locally. So I would say both on the client side, there's a level of maturity and understanding of this reality of agency group holding level consolidations, and an acceptance of the fact that as long as they have a high degree of assurance around their teams or their agency or the geography or the form in which they are being served and their needs are being met, I find that clients understand that because they understand the structure of the industry.
So simply put, can I ask you, I mean, I remember seeing that Samsung had, on your media side, has called for a pitch which used to work with Lodestar. And we are aware that TBWA is the client, is the agency for Apple. Do you think we can avoid a similar situation on the creative side? Do you have it all under control?
Well, it's hypothetical. I don't know. You'll have to ask Karthik that question.
No, I mean on the creative side. Do you have situations like this arising, or you have it under control?
I think we'll be okay. I think in every category. I mean, this is there is it's very real that as you grow, and particularly in a market like ours, in every category there will be 5, 6 players at the very least who require the services of a good agency. And as long as those agencies are clear that the way in which they are run is independent and autonomous, which is how Omnicom set its agencies up, right, with empowered leadership teams and a really strong set of protocols to be able to deliver on that need. I'm reasonably confident that these kind of issues will not be an impediment in either the growth of those agencies or our approach to our ability to be able to compete for a larger share of the economy and of the best players in every category. But you've got to engage in that one client at a time and a specific context at a time.
Makes sense. Okay, also coming to the talent part of it, will there be further downsizing? Of course, for two big companies like this to come together, it also has to make a lot of sense cost-wise.
Yeah.
So are you going to look at, laying off further people?
Yeah, so you're right. This is, again, globally and in India, very much the case that there is part of the logic of an acquisition like this is to look at places where cost efficiencies can be generated. We have already taken those actions in India. And the good news is that many of the at each operating level, we're talking about good, well-run agencies, right? So we didn't have to cut deep or cut to the bone because we also have to ensure that where there is good talent and where there are good teams, that we stay invested in those journeys. So we've taken decisions in areas which are not client-facing primarily.
Okay.
As you can appreciate, there is in support services a fair amount of duplication because it's a large
setup. Yeah.
Large setup, and we're quite clear that that is where most of the efficiencies will come from. There are also a whole bunch of operating processes which we can do, which we can redesign or with the benefit of technology do in smarter ways. And then the rest of it, which is talented people who clients want to work with and are excited about working with, we just want to keep going and give them more and more means to be able to do their work and do it well, And you see that in the way in which the leadership teams have been set up as well. So the short answer to your question is no more. You will not see any more restructuring or merger or acquisition-related restructuring in India from us in Omnicom Advertising anytime soon. You will see business as usual churn and attrition, which in our industry happens.
Not merger-related layoffs, you're saying anymore?
No, not anymore.
And was it single-digit within the advertising side, or you said it's been an operational side, the layoffs?
Yeah.
What percentage would it be on the advertising side, if you can give me a number?
I would say, overall, if you look, we're as I said, in our business, our biggest cost is always people, right? And if you look at the composition of support staff on an agency of our scale, it's usually what I would say 10-15% of the staff is in those areas. And you don't really need to carry that full structure into this new holding group because you've got a leaner set of agencies, and those mean the kind of the operating system, finance, admin, HR, IT, real estate, all of that stuff that sits kind of underpinning these agencies. We've definitely been able to create room to take some of that investment and put it back into the client-facing roles. So, I think that principle is more important than the exact number, and because we haven't attacked it like that. We haven't gone at it with a arithmetic approach. We've gone at it with a more strategic approach to say, listen, what can we do without impacting our clients or without impacting our ability to be able to win today and tomorrow, rather than having a number and chasing it.
Okay, then I'd like to ask you about specific leaders, I mean, which I've not really heard much about.
Yeah.
About whom I've not heard about in the announcements.
Yeah.
Maybe Ram Jayaraman and Russell Barrett.
Yeah.
Where are they going to be in the new scheme of things?
Yeah. So we're working through some of those details, Neeta. Again, we haven't actually made any announcements. We've sent out a few internal memos which people have picked up. We've had internal conversations on leadership, but we're much more interested in getting that done first. So the people that you have heard of are the people who are already in those positions. There are a whole bunch of other very talented people, including folks like Russell, who are at this moment doing the jobs that they're doing, and we're in the process of finding that best fit in the new structure going forward, and perhaps 30 to 60 days away, because we also don't want to create unnecessary discontinuity in places where our people are already set and doing a good job. So you'll hear that when we're ready. There are a few announcements you'll see in the next month or so on the BBDO group, for example, where we've actually not really announced too much by way of what that new structure looks like. We're pretty confident that by the end of this quarter we would have had the org set, and then you will know about everybody,
the nitty-gritties,
including and everyone. Listen, every person who works in this company who's talented and making a difference to clients matter, and we've seen that in the decisions we've made at the leadership level. You see it right through the line, and we have incredible leaders at every level in the org, and we will take as many of them into the future as we possibly can, as long as we're confident that they are the people that our clients value.
Super. Also, talking about leadership, I happen to see in some of the agencies, there are leaders who have not worked with each other. In fact, I mean, just to cite an example, I think with McCann, it's Dheeraj who's coming from FCB, Rahul coming from DDB, coming together to create McCann. I'm very interested in what the culture of McCann would be now. Is it going to be an amalgamation of the three, or it's going to retain its individual
it's an interesting
identity?
question. It's the same thing with TBW and Lintas, isn't it? I mean, you've got people from different backgrounds. Just part of, I think, the excitement of this acquisition. It's designed in an acquisition to bring people from different backgrounds, really good, high-quality leaders, top professionals, inspiring people into new contexts, right? It's always, I think, particularly when you go into a strong culture, which McCann is. It's a successful, great global agency, strong in India as well. It will always be a mix of what is already making that company successful, and then the personalities and the dynamics of the leaders as they come in, what they want to bring to the table, their style, their perspective, and that flavor into the agency. It is the thing that makes agencies successful, that right kind of balance of what is at the core of an agency's culture and that drives its success, and the perspective that comes from new leadership, and right through, whether it's at McCann or at TBW Lintas or at Connect or at 22 Feet or in the BBDO group, it is, I think, a really important ingredient in making us ready for the future, which is to respect what is there today, which we will do and have done historically as well, and to make those stronger with the benefit of people who are new to that context, but highly qualified and driven to do great work.
So in this case,
challenge it.
How much time have you given them to get over the teething troubles and start firing as an agency?
Yeah, I think the agencies are already doing well, right? And they are. Everyone is entering a context with a really strong base, and clients are excited and looking forward to seeing what will happen. Our first objective is in the next, in the first 3 months, 6 months at the on the outside, to take the kind of the operating and the logistical parts of that integration out of the way, because it's the stuff that is of least consequence to clients. In the next 30 days, all of these agencies will be housed in their new environments with their new leaders. And it should feel, which is I'm pretty confident it will, should feel natural for those teams to be operating with those people and those clients in those new contexts. So I mean, for us, with every week, that story and that comfort that the teams have with each other should become stronger and stronger, and it should start to show in the work. It should start to show in the work that we're producing for our clients. It should start to show in the depth of those client partnerships. It should start to show in the our ability to be able to win and generate new business.
Right.
And those metrics are the same.
But
how you
usually in
measure
case
the
of
success.
consolidations, we see that it takes a couple of years.
Yeah.
So for the next few years, are you expecting yourself to be on a back foot, figuring out things and, going slow on the growth part of it? Or you think you can actually go aggressive from day one and actually win?
We can and we will.
Okay.
There is no question. There is that part of the ambition is crystal clear. Will there be challenges along the way? Of course there will. But this is not waiting for 2 years
So
to
you're
start
basically
to
looking
go.
at growth in the first year
Of
itself.
course, we have to. Because
Okay.
these are great agencies, great clients, amazing talent. Why should we not? I see no reason.
Do you have a percentage, a target in mind?
That I don't think is the way we are approaching it like that. I mean, to your question on cost as well, I think we want to do what is right for that agency, for that team, for those clients in that moment.
Okay.
As long as we do that well, we will grow, because our clients are all ambitious and want partners who are helping them along that journey. And if we partner our clients properly, they grow, we grow. It's really that's the thinking, the principle through which we have engaged in this conversation, and which is why if you break that kind of journey down to its component parts, the first step is to get the team set, to get the leadership set,
Right.
to get them comfortable in that environment with each other. I think we've made a reasonable amount of progress. Our friends at TBW Lintas are already sitting together in their new office. All the other agencies will follow. We're 60 days in, and that's already happened.
So everything is going to be housed here, or is
We'll
there a
have
new
to.
space?
We're doing that exercise. So Govind and his TBW team are already in the current Lintas offices in BKC.
Okay.
22 feet has moved as well, because that space can
Accommodate more.
Can accommodate that configuration. So our objective is to house people within their coherent agency teams in one place.
But not the entire group
I
together
don't think
in
that's
one place
practical,
at this point.
Neeta. It's not going to happen. I mean, we're talking across Karthik's team and our team and the Global Capability Center. We're talking about close to 10,000 people in Omnicom across locations. It's not realistic to expect that to happen in 3 months or 6 months. But what is important to do is that each of the agency teams, the TBW Lintas team, the BBDO group, the McCann teams, and our friends at Connect and 22 Feet are all in their respective teams, new configurations together. And that we are quite certain, as I told you, TBW Lintas has already happened. We're quite certain we would have had that done before the end of this quarter. So once that happens, it's business as usual, with a new energy and with all of the might of Omnicom available at our clients' disposal. So that then becomes the next chapter.
Okay. From an overall perspective, now the merger, of course, has changed the agency holding company ranking in India and abroad, of course. Would you say bigger is better in advertising today? I mean, of course, from a media perspective, it means more negotiating power and buying power. But what does it add from a creative perspective?
Yeah, I mean, bigger is better, but better is even better. And there's always been this kind of thing in our industry about how agencies are based on the structure of and There are good agencies and there are bad agencies. There are good independent agencies and there are terrible independent agencies. There are good holding group agencies and there are terrible holding group agencies. I think our focus has to be on building good agencies, which we have. We're blessed to have. When you put these together between the BBDO group, McCann and TBW Lintest, we'll have, and our digital spine, we'll have incredibly good, strong agencies. And that's where the scale helps, because there are some things large agencies can do, which large clients want them to do, that small ones can't. And I believe that's an advantage. The scale also, I think, is attractive for talent, because a lot of good, creative, exciting talent wants to be able to work in agencies that offer them the biggest stage, that offer them a mix of challenges that will keep them going, and learning from leaders that keeps their careers rich. It's one of the big parts of this structure. What we want to do is to be able to design 20, 30-year careers for our people across this incredible range of opportunities in world-class agencies in India and abroad. So scale is an advantage. It's more important to be good at what we do, and we will never lose sight of that. But I do believe that if you're a good agency, it helps to be big.
Makes sense. Just to be the devil's advocate, now of course you're looking at unified AI and data structures with Omni and Axiom coming in. But is scale enough? In today's DPDP era, I think along with scale, you also need clean, consent-led, ready to activate data, where perhaps the smaller agencies may have an advantage. What's your view?
I'm not sure how that will work. How do small agencies compete on that front when we know that the investment required is more easily available in a larger setup, right? So, I mean, there are advantages to a small agency setup, and there's a role for that. I'm not wishing that away, but certainly from the perspective of investment and capability building, it's quite obvious that the larger holding groups are a better position, right, to be able to do that. So again, I'm not in any way writing off smaller agencies. I mean, there is a place for a good agency, regardless of whether they're big or small. I feel very confident that large agencies have advantages that I'd be happy to make more use of if I'm a client.
Let's also bring in your big competitors. Maybe how are your offerings currently different from a Publicis or a WPP with regard to AI and everything else?
In many ways, I think from a technology perspective, a lot's been written about Omni AI and spoken about it, and you can see what it could look like potentially with the addition of a commerce leg with Flywheel, an acquisition we made a year ago, with Axiom, with Truth Central and Black Backslash from a cultural insight perspective. So it is quite exciting to kind of look at Omni AI as the operating system that is built on this range of cultural intelligence through to commerce and the last mile. So in that sense, you can see the distinction. I think in my context specifically in Omnicom advertising, none of our competitors have the quality of an agency portfolio that we do. That's always been Omnicom's greatest strength. Our reputation for creative effectiveness and serious long, deep client partnerships across all the agencies, right? We're very clear about the role of the holding group and the role of the agencies, and we've backed the agencies to do the work and to be best in class, regardless of whether they're 3, 6, or 10, right? But the integrity of that principle, that when we have an agency, that agency will be strong, will be well supported, and led by really top quality talent. That's how Omnicom has built its business historically, and that's how we will continue to build it, just with a new layer of new capabilities that are required to win today.
So in this case, with all the new capabilities that you're adding and, the wider breadth of services that you're providing to the clients, do you envisage a change in the fee structure where you're actually getting paid more by the client?
That's a really important question, and perhaps critical to our success over the next 3 to 5 year journey as well. In fact, a big part of why we're structured the way we're structured is to bring us closer to client outcomes. It's the only way, Neeta. If we don't address that, we're not going to be able to partner in our clients' growth. So these capabilities and the ability to view the full picture is also the structure is also being built because we have to get closer to client outcomes. We have to be more connected to client business, and we have to feel like we have more skin in that game, in the way in which we partner our clients as well. You do that, then you can start to think about how we're getting paid, right? But the first step is to be clear about how we're engaging and to build that level of trust between client and agency to be in a position. I found it surprisingly frequent that clients will share in their growth if they feel like an agency is a serious partner to them. I think it really is on us in our business to create that context more and more with our clients and stop complaining about how we're going to go about doing it and refocus on doing it.
Okay. And also the merger was being seen as a response to an advertising industry under stress. Tell me that one big disadvantage that this merger has managed, you managed to overcome because of this one merger. And what are the big opportunities ahead for you?
Yeah, I mean, the opportunities are very obvious. I think the fact that, again, in India, look at what we're acquiring. Look at the talent. Look at the clients. Look at the scale of those agencies and just what it helps us do to strengthen the offering to our clients, right? I mean, every client wants to feel like they're working with agencies that have the best talent. Every client wants to feel like they're working with agencies that can partner them, regardless of the scale, whether they're a large company or a chota company, are able to kind of do the full, the depth of engagement that they want their agency partner to do. And particularly in a market like India, Neeta, right, where many of our clients are still very much in a growth orientation, right? Of course, there are challenges, there are struggles, there is day-to-day in any competitive context. But we're blessed that we're in a market where clients are still investing in growth, looking for growth. We're one of the few large-sized growing economies in the world. And I think we must focus on that upside in India, even as an industry, not just in Omnicom's context, but for all of us who are in this business to be doing what we need to do to help that conversation with clients, and then to do that meaningfully and to participate in that meaningfully as their partners. So I think that this acquisition is designed to be ready for that. I don't see it as a defensive one in the Indian context at all.
Okay. And how differently are you going to lead OAI as opposed to how you led it earlier? When it was just Omnicom, now it's a combination of two big companies. So how differently is your leadership
The principles
style?
are the same. We've had almost 3 years now of an Omnicom advertising structure in India. Yes, this is a serious addition to that structure, but that structure is tried and tested, and the principles are very clear. So we just have to apply that properly in this new context, ensure that the agencies are empowered, that they are successful, that the leaders of those agencies, and we have incredibly good leaders at the helm across the board, that they feel the full support of Omnicom in their journey of winning on behalf of the clients every day. That's really it. And our job at a holding group level is the stuff that is the capability building, it's the talent, and it is, whether it's category, kind of depth of understanding of category, it's all of that stuff. So bringing all of that new exciting stuff that's happening globally and regionally into the market through the holding group. But that's the design of what the relationship between the holding group and the agencies is meant to be, and we're very clear about that, and we just want to now execute it properly.
Super. And just one last question. We've spoken about all the agency brands, and we've seen some of your competitors bring back agency brands like Dentsu did for Web Chutney. Do you see any of your retired brands making a comeback? Though you've not really let them go, just the names are off the door. But do you see them come back in full form again?
I'll say two things.
In the future, yeah.
I'll say two things. One, I say Omnicom has always, you've seen that in the actions. When we've spoken before, I've told you that as well, and you've seen play out. We always believe in the importance, the relevance, and the power of the agency brand. So you'll see that consistency. So that we're clear about the principle. The second half of your question, which is, will you see it? We have what we need.
Okay.
I don't think we need anything more by way of agency brands to be able to win in this market. We've got a really good mix of global brands, local brands, a really good mix of capabilities, and enough, I think, difference in the cultures and perspectives of these agencies to be able to give clients the perspectives that they need, and to give different clients different types of support, right? Because in India, there is each client has a uniqueness in how they want to set up and what they want to do, and we're blessed with a portfolio, an adequate portfolio to be able to address that market need. So the short answer to your question is, we've got what we need. We won't be doing any more.
Superb. All the best, Aditya.
Thank you very much.
Hope your
Thanks,
fabulous new stint. I mean, as a leader of the joint entity, and maybe have a conversation soon.
Of course, happy to. Happy to. Anytime you'd like to. Again.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Neeta. Thank you for the time and for the conversation.